Welcome to Daybreak, the site of our first game in this best of 3. Over in the bottom left corner, we have from Team FXO. It is Lowely, the winner of the combined regionals for WCS, as well as 4th place in WCS Europe. Everyone knows by now, it's not even like the hipster thing to do anymore, that Lowely is good. Especially because he did well in Season 3, going 6-2, and then, you know, after a really amazing start, Lowely was not able to really make it to our final 8. But what a story Lowely is. Just being one of the few players from Belarus, refusing to go overseas because he wants to build a community of pro gaming in Belarus. He says he's gotten offers to move to other countries like Germany and everything to go train, you know, and who doesn't want to do that? Want to surround yourself with like-minded pro gamers. But he says he wants to work on promoting other Belarusian players to get into esports. That's really cool. That Lowely really wants to be a hometown hero.
Yeah. Really awesome stuff. But over here in the top right-hand corner, we do have BeastyQT, and this guy stayed with the Razor House for quite a long time. He actually recently moved out. Now I do know he experiences a lot of, I wouldn't say health problems, but food problems, as he's allergic to gluten.
Yes, yes.
So it makes it very hard for him to actually travel all over the country or even the world.
Yeah, he's not. He's also a person who just doesn't seem to translate his skill well to lands as well. It's just it's different. Beasty's told me he doesn't even understand why. He's tried everything. He's tried getting more sleep. He's tried taking certain medications. He's tried preparing all the food he has. In fact, when he was here in California with Mr. Beer in the Razor House, he was actually on a very good gluten diet that they were able to maintain for him, and he still didn't perform well at the Gigabyte land. So Beasty, he's still in the middle of figuring it out, and when he does, if he does, he's going to be a scary player. But until then, he's always kind of doubted even himself.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people can actually relate to that. If you've ever been in like a rec soccer or rec basketball or something, you train so much, you go to practice, and then you use none of that in your actual games. It's just like, oh, pass me the ball, I want to shoot it. And it's always that, you know, you just don't fall back on what you train for some unknown reason. But
yeah, you just kind of get nervous and
I don't know
what
basically
you psych yourself out.
Yeah.
It's really cool because I think the way Day9 put it in one of his behind-the-scenes shots for Star Nation, he was saying that there's like the instinct that you kind of sabotage yourself, and as a result, your hands and your mind disconnect, and you start doing things that you really know you shouldn't be doing, and you can't help yourself from doing it. Like, I shouldn't attack, or I should be defending against early roaches, which looks like what Lowely's going to do. But for some reason, you just can't, and you just feel like you can't have that. You have to call, you know, in certain ways. Like in poker, sometimes you just feel like you have to make the call even though you know you're going to lose. And those kinds of scenarios, it's experience. It's being able to put yourself so much in that situation and being able to tell yourself no, that sometimes you're finally able to overcome. Yeah. BC's still searching for that answer. I feel like Lowely, people didn't know how he would react, but Lowely seems to have that kind of poise in a land environment. No one expected him to get far in WCS Europe. Ooh, and I bet he didn't expect to get this free Marine pick off either.
No, he did not. That is 50% of the total DPS from attacking units of BeastyQT. That's quite substantial, Frodan. Yeah, it's not a big
50%
deal.
is pretty big. But at the same time, I think BC doesn't feel a threat. And 2 Zerglings doesn't mean anything. But the Roaches is going to mean a lot.
7 Roaches so far are in the field.
Oh my goodness.
You can see Zerglings, 2 Zerglings, but he's joining up behind this, so it's not super huge commitment, but still, he hasn't thrown down anything to really defend against this.
Yeah, he's going for Hellion Banshee, so the Banshee is going to take a long time before it even comes out. These 7 Roaches are going to at least force the command center to lift. But then it begs the question, will BC even be able to protect his ramp?
Oh, BC loses his first Hellion. That's actually pretty big. Again, a lot more DPS that he's losing. And these Roaches are not going to be able to, or excuse me, they're not going to die. Like
it feels like they have infinite HP. And BC's already supply blocked. Can't even make his Banshee out of his tech lab when it comes out. Beasty will have to scramble for something. He's starting to make a Marauder. One Marauder will pop, but he's already taking massive damage. Now, Lowely did sacrifice a huge portion of economy. Beasty needs to micro and protect that Marauder, get it to the bunker. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because Lowely's also showing restraint as well. Beasty can't make that Banshee. Really needs to free up some supply room, although he did lose some Hellions, and that's going to allow him to. Marauder gets very low on health, but he's able to salvage it. A couple of Roaches are dropping as well. Great defense, actually, from Beasty. I feel like he should have lost a lot more, but he's able to kind of stabilize.
A little bit. I mean, no matter what, Lowely is reaping the benefits from this attack. He has been so cost efficient with these 7 Roaches, and now it looks like the last Marauder is going to pop out here and probably clean out all these the Roaches. Still, BeastyQT, oh my god, 15 workers killed, ladies and gentlemen. That is so substantial. 17. 34 to 18 is the worker count. As you can see, BeastyQT is actually throwing down a 3rd base, but right in front of the Overlord. How unfortunate. This should actually give the cue for Lowely to just put pressure on his opponent.
Yeah, except Lowely doesn't really have a lot of options for pressure now that the Banshee's out. He hasn't started speed. He did sack a ton of his early economy. He was at 17 drones when the Roaches popped. So he doesn't really have that much to work with, especially since he droned up heavily. I feel like Beasty, that kind of decision was actually really smart because he knows Lowely's joining up.
We'll see. Right now, it looks like additional queens are even being made. 5 queens total, so the Banshee will get in here. It doesn't have Cloak. It'll do very minimal damage, but BeastyQT doing a good job killing as many drones as possible. He's up to 6. 6 now.
Very nice.
Good job.
Very nice. And that's just going to keep the drone count in check, force more droning while he's getting up his own 3rd. And that's kind of exactly what he wants to do, force the larva not to be spent in units. Sure, drone up, but I'm going to get triple orbital and scrap my way back into this game. That's what you need to do, especially if you're behind. Beasty now getting out an early Raven. This is really cool. That just signifies he's going to go for mech. Does he have the armory started? Yes, he does. So Beasty loves mech in general.
Wow. 11 kills on that Banshee before it dies. Absolutely insane.
Oh, sorry, I didn't get to.
That,
I was paying attention to his build transition.
Still, 11 kills. Like,
that's actually
how
really
do you
nice.
do that without Cloak?
With 5 queens out onto the field.
I just don't understand, Frodan. It defies everything that I know. But that being said, kind of sloppy by Lowely, if anything. I feel like it was good micro, but Infestation pick goes down.
I think what's more surprising, Andre, is in the bottom right corner we have a base.
Oh, yeah, I just see that in the mini-map.
And the Hylians are going for, I guess, a mini poke at the 3rd just to time that 3rd base. This expansion in the bottom right makes me think Lowely's going to go for high 3 base aggression. And then use that as a kind of a rally point to constantly reinforce and put on more pressure, kind of like a 3 base, huge timing. But at the same time, I've never really seen this from Zerd.
Neither have I. I don't know why
Very
you're
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a while, too. Man, is Beasty ever going to realize this? He's going to even get a queen there as well. So, yeah, I feel like it is just going to be a huge 3 base aggression from Lowely if he's able to do anything. There is a really nice thing you can do with early Roaches if you want to pressure before Terran can build up their huge stacks of mech units. That's what Hyun loves to do, whether it's through Roach drops or just straight up pressuring the 3rd and catching units out of position. But Beasty is also really good usually with his unit positioning. He's not like a Terran player that plays too quickly. I like Beasty's mech play a lot.
Well, we're in for a long game. Even though Lowely got such a drastic advantage in the beginning, I feel like he squandered it a little bit. Really not taking advantage of anything that he's seen so far. BC will lose these Hellions, which is actually pretty big over here. You need to have eyes on the map to make sure you're not going to die to some sort of all-in. But as it stands, BeastyQT, I don't know, I feel like he should be able to stabilize pretty nicely here. It's really hard for Lowely to really amass anything of value. We can see Infestors on the way out, but Infestors, they're good, don't get me wrong, but they need a while before you actually start to gain a lot of energy, and then ultimately you can start doing damage. But time is of the essence, and Lowely doesn't really have that.
Lowely has actually a really strong drone count, but kind of stacked up a little bit too much at the natural. But he's still continuing to drone, and he's actually going for +2/+2 as well as more Infestors. And it's interesting because I thought he was going to go for Roaches as an answer to the mech, but he's going to go for Zerglings instead. What do you think about this, Andre?
I don't mind it to increase the Infestor count for now, but He already lost one Infestor at the natural because that Raven was just standing there. I don't even know if BeastyQT even saw that.
Lowely loves those kind of things. Broad Infestors with the Infestaterans.
And we might see a couple of Infestaterans being popped down.
Oh,
Turret is going down, so it needs to be careful.
Yeah, we'll see whether or not Beasty is going to be prepared for it. Beasty is also preparing a 4th base. That center map control is very critical, especially for mech, so you can cover less area, or you need to cover less area between bouncing to your natural and your 3rd base. Infestaterran is now popping at the 3rd base. Beasty should be able to defend it, though. Oh, he drops a mule, actually, directly in front of the Infestaterrans. Oh, man. Take this mule! Save the SCVs!
Yeah. Not really going to do too much. Lowely now not really reaping the benefits of this bottom right-hand base just yet. Income tab showing 91 harvesters.
Oh. He's using it just
moly.
for gas, then, huh? That's
I don't mind that.
smart.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
You don't mind that at all. Wow, Lowly's just expanding everywhere, man. Doesn't even really... Lowly doesn't even care. It's like a Settlers of Catan game. It's like, yeah, I'll place a road here. It's like, this is actually really inconvenient, man. It's like, I know. That's why I placed it there.
But it doesn't help you at all. I know.
Yes, I had like that development card which gives me like 2 road buildings, and I'm like, I'm just gonna build it here, and like, you don't even use this resource. Like, why are you blocking my port? And I just give him a big smile and be like, 'cause I knew you'd react to it.
Yeah. 20 turns later, it's like, oh my god, this road is so annoying.
Yeah. And they bring it up every single turn. It's like, I would be doing good if it wasn't for these roads. It's like, I know you said that last turn too. Hellions coming into the 3rd base. There's a lot of drones there. Nice little pickoff. Ooh, force scan. Try to see if he can pick off more, but there are a lot of roaches. And again, mass roaches is a little bit deceptive because he doesn't have any missile upgrades. He just goes for the melee. That way he can go straight to Broodlords because he has Hive and Spire synced up. Broodlings is very powerful, obviously. This is an interesting take, so it doesn't look like Lowely's going to be aggressive, but rather just you wait till his Hive kicks in.
Yeah. So such a weird game for him.
It's a very interesting set of mid-game choices, I feel. From Lowely, I mean. Beasty's playing pretty standard from this point.
93 drones. Lowely will have to give up about 20 of them if he actually wants to commit to anything. Right now his roach count is super tiny, 36 roaches out in the field, 5 infestors. And you can see this Terran army, even though he's not even max, he could probably take out 36 roaches. Just so easy with the siege tanks, with the AoE, with the Hellions to clear all this up. And we might see that pretty soon here. Now, the bottom right-hand side base is being attacked, and here we go. Roaches are going in here, and Frodan, I don't like this.
Don't like it for Lowely or don't like it for Beasty. We're about to find out either way. Infestaterrans popping everywhere. Does Beasty have enough to hold his planetary? It will be very effective considering that the Infestaterrans are dropping straight next to it. Beasty also has more Banshees coming in, so inevitably he should be able to clean up everything, but he does lose a huge chunk of his army. At the same time, Lowely dedicated a lot of his army. He's going to be a while before he can max out again. Actually, just kidding. He's going to go on roaches. I thought he was going to utilize his Hive tech, but instead he chooses directly back for roaches.
Weird. Very,
I thought he was going to go to Broodlords,
yeah.
man.
That was not a cost-efficient trade for Lowely at all. I didn't like that for Lowely. As I said, I just felt like that was a very one-sided battle. Even though it looked even at the end, when you trade like that, it doesn't feel right. Like, there's a lot of options for the Terran to actually continue that momentum into like a ridiculous advantage. Like, they can go ahead and now just pressure you. Like, Lowely was forced to make those roaches because of that impending attack, or the threat of an impending attack. And you don't want to really be massing up roaches. As you said, you want to be going to that Hive tech, but those roaches have to be made, and that's a lot of larva and a lot of gas that's not going to your Hive tech, which is super effective against mech.
Another roach attack here from Lowely, and he's going to be throwing a lot of roaches away. Even though, yes, he picks off some mech units, this was definitely a much worse trade, because at least before he picked off a couple Thors and several tanks at the cost of a max army, but Beasty is holding pretty strong. Now going to start moving to take another base, although Lowely's expanding to the bottom right yet again.
Wow, and even putting creep tumors there, that's so annoying. You know, one thing that people don't really know too much is the difference with MVP's mech and, you know, Foreigner mech. You can see in this game, this mech style is super passive, and yes, you have little run-bys here and there, but you'll see MVP just all over the map always. Like, there's always some sort of constant pressure or even a fake pressure. Nice job with the Zerglings, by the way. But you'll always see some sort of pressure. And we don't see that here. And it's really a shame because I feel like BeastyQT is giving Lowely just a ridiculous amount of time.
Wow. Although Beastie's now transitioning to mass air, he's getting +2 in Vikings. I feel like I think the way he's reading it is that Lowely's the one being so aggressive. He feels like he just has to defend because he's the one that's trading out a lot of supply. Look at Lowely. He does have a huge bank, and he does have several corruptors, but he's committed so much of excess resources towards things that are not benefiting him for the next couple of minutes. He needs time now. Beastie, if he actually pushed, he would straight up kill his opponent.
This is what I was talking about. I mean, you really shouldn't be engaging like that unless you know you're ready for that hive tech. And you don't want to be attacking into a position like this. This is the worst place to be possibly attacking.
Oh.
A little bit of a Hellion run by at the third and
fourth there's base. A lot of drones, Andre. And they're targeting the queens, but now starting to work on some of the drones. Also going over to the 5th base as well. And Lowely getting a little bit sloppy here. Oh, and Beastie's going to be able to scan, take out so many of these drones back at the 5th as well. BeastyQT pulling his way back in, really shortening the economy, and what once was a thriving economic harvest is now down to 46 drones. He was at 95 at one point.
And we're going to see complete Sky Terran, by the way?
I think so. Well, no, he's going back to tanks. I think he feels like his opponent has no army. He saw mass roaches again. He wants to make a lot of tanks. He already has an incredible Banshee count. He's got 9. Yeah. He's going to be able to one-shot roaches virtually.
Really impressive. But remember, those 9 Banshees, if they clump up, they can easily die. I love this, though. Sending in a single Banshee saying, hey, use your energy on just me, and then the other Banshees are going to thrive after that. But oh, the Corruptors! Be careful.
Sucks to be Banshee if you're caught by a fungal in that case. More Infestors are burrowed and moving underneath. Lowely has been pretty good about creep spread. That's something that's been really implicitly empowering these roaches to move really freely around the map. BC now trying to move towards the bottom right, slowly inching over there, realizing he needs to also kind of establish 3-base economy again. But mass Sky Terran it is. Secret Missile being researched, as well as every single kind of upgrade possible, including the Corvid Reactor.
Yeah. This is fine. I mean, he's on 8 gases at this point. The main and natural should mine out pretty soon, as you can see. But for the most part, I mean, BeastyQT is playing the slow, meticulous. He's making sure that he's getting his expansions and his army composition to match his opponents, or at least be better than his opponents, which is really, really good. And from there, oh my god, here it is. And Broodlords are not going to do too well. Not against this Viking count.
Especially since he has Secret Missile finishing up soon. It's just going to be even tougher to push in here. Lowely doesn't even have the raw amount of Infestor count to be able to keep the Fungals chaining. And the Broodlords get immediately picked off. Beastie has a very, very, very strong core army, especially with even some tanks zoning off the Infestors. Very good positioning from Beastie, man. Like, look at how the tanks were just outside the range that the Broodlords can't move any further down the ramp, to the point where if the Infestors wanted to support, they would risk themselves getting sniped by the long-range tank. Really
Look at this. Now Lowely is being punished for not having a high enough Infestor count. 17 Infestors out in the way. Holy moly, that is so substantial. These Banshees are actually clearing up so much over here. Infested Terrans trying to be popped down, but, you know, it doesn't... Lowely, I really feel, threw away this game.
Yeah, I feel like Lowely was really in a good position to win, man. And I think he gave too much time, and also the army trades, obviously, were just so ineffective at that stage, because Beastie was already starting to build up the huge economy. Now, how is she going to stop this push, Andre? There are so many tanks, and that's not even to mention the threat of Secret Missiles if any Infestors or Broodlords come too close.
Really nice spread by those Banshees, making sure that he's at least zoning a little bit for his tanks and everything. And think, just 1 fungal is 3 Infested Terrans, so that's, again, substantial.
Like, or 3 Infested Terrans a fungal.
Yeah.
And these 12 Infested Terrans aren't going to be doing anything against these Banshees unless they use more energy. Awesome play from Beastie, kind of recover himself after early losses to some roach pressure. Now he's pushing in. Lowly down to just 1 mining base. If you accumulate every single drone that's mining from a mineral patch, more attacks or more units are rallying in. Beastie going into full Hellion and tank production. Awesome. I love that Beasty's not overcommitting to Sky as well, realizing that tank core is still extremely strong against this kind of composition, able to steamroll, as Lowely has no answer to the might of the Terran army.
And all you have to do in this situation is incorporate a couple of queens, incorporate even hydras. I don't care. Some sort of anti-air that's a little bit more stable, a little bit more, I don't know. Something of substance, man.
See this one queen shooting at all the Vikings, and then the point of entry is like pew, 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 and the Vikings like decide to land. Oh, that's really funny. It reminds me of that Star Wars scene where Luke's trying to train with a little drone, and Obi-Wan, he just keeps getting zapped. GG gets called as Lowely dropped game number 1. Beasty now has a game lead over his opponent and is making a strong case to stay around after defeating Lowely, who's still scrapping his play together.
Really sloppy play, though, coming out from Lowely.
When
you're that far ahead,
best moment.
17 drones ahead, guys, and or excuse me, 17 workers killed, and you still manage to lose the game. You have 5 queens. You get a single Banshee doing 11 kills before it dies. That's a big problem, and right there, it kind of equalizes, but not really. Lowely still has a huge advantage. He sees the third base going down. He needs to do something about it, but he just sits back, allows BeastyQT to take that expansion. He takes the weirdest bottom right-hand side expansion where you don't want to invest too much, because as soon as it gets spotted, it's like, well, I just invested all these drones, all these larva injects into this. It's kind of useless. So you're not really going to get too much of an advantage from it, but, I mean, if you're going to be that passive, what's the point? I don't know. That was just a really, really weird game to me.
I agree. We'll see what happens after we take a quick commercial break. But first, we want to thank LABite.com. Use promo code NASL when you're at the checkout menu to let them know that you support us. Go ahead and check out their website, LABite.com, for all kind of food delivery service around the LA and Orange County area. We prepared a commercial for you guys. Why don't you check it out?